one thing I always tell bartenders, I told this to a bunch of bartenders. I spoke at an event for like up and coming bartenders maybe about 3 months ago, 2 months ago. And I told them, I was like, even though like I feel like I do have a bit of success in the bar world today, I'm not necessarily on a material level necessarily any happier than I was when I was bar backing or busting tables at like 20 years old, you know? And the reason why I think that's important to say is that I feel like a lot of times, especially today, maybe because of social media or whatever, but people are they're in a hurry to get everywhere they want to be now. Uh, and I think that can be a little bit dangerous um, to your psychological health, but also just in terms of your long-term success. Because I feel like what's happened is that people end up with this syndrome where they keep thinking everything's gonna be better once I achieve this. Yeah, I'm not happy now, but once I open my own spot, I'm gonna allow myself to be happy. Or once I do this, I'm gonna allow myself to relax. But the thing is, what happens is you're never gonna find that. You're like a lot of like the feelings from our accomplishments are very ephemeral. It's like you're super psyched up about it, whatever, but the next day, maybe rest, and then after that, you got to get back to work.
Mhm.
So if you're just constantly thinking like, oh, once I win my James Beard Award, or once I do this or accomplish this, then I'm gonna allow myself to be happy. You're in for a world of pain because that's never going to happen.
Yep.
You need to enjoy the process and enjoy how the journey of getting where you're going, as anything else is just I feel like is irresponsible and setting yourself up for misery.
Yeah, it's great
That is
advice.
a great
Yeah.
message because and
Yeah.
it made me reflect a little bit because when I think back to like when I was waiting tables and bartending and stuff, all I did was go to work 6, 8 hours a day and party and have fun, and there was no stress, and it was a great
Yeah.
life.
Yeah.
I don't
Happier
know that
then.
I've ever been
Yeah.
lonelier or more stressed or more anxious than owning a
Mhm.
bar.
Mhm. Yeah,
Truth to that.
absolutely. So that's what I'm telling you because I have a lot. I talk to a lot of younger bartenders. Always like, oh man, once I do this, I'm gonna be set. I'm this. Then it's easy street. I'm like, no, no. In fact, it's probably gonna be harder. But in the meantime, but man, you need to enjoy your time right now. Enjoy like bonding with your coworkers and tasting spirits and like R&D and like they have less responsibility, so they can play around with you can go into the bar on a Saturday morning and try to make some cool syrups or experiment with ingredients. Like take advantage of all that time you have because I've heard a friend of mine back in the day. He referred to like the always being happier down the road. He referred to it as the Kurt Cobain syndrome. I don't know if he made that up or whatever, but it's basically like, Kurt Cobain would, I guess, allegedly wouldn't allow himself to be like really be happy or celebrate any of the band's wins. All he wanted to do was be like the biggest band in the world. They wanted to be big rock stars, right? Giant rock stars. And then he became a giant rock star and realized he was just as miserable as when he was playing, at the Crocodile Cafe in Seattle. Um, and then so then he turned to other means and other substances in order to fill that void. But the thing is, you can't wait for something. You can't wait for to allow yourself to be happy down the road. You need to be able to
Mhm.
find happiness in the process. Otherwise, what the fuck's the point of all this? You're like a spoon that never tastes the soup. You know?
Celebrate not having wrinkles. Celebrate
Yeah.
that your knees work,
I know.
celebrate being able to sleep through the night and, not have to get
Yeah.
up and go to the restroom. There's a lot,
Hmm.
it's easy to look at everything with rose-colored glasses. Yeah, I could look
Hmm.
back at my youth and go, "Man,
Well, that I mean, the expression "youth is wasted on the young," I mean, that's perfect.